All right. Good evening and welcome. I'd like to convene this town board meeting for November 25th, 2024. If you'll join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to note that everyone is present except for Councilperson Bruno. And we have a few announcements tonight. The first one is Town Hall will be closed November 28th and 29th for the Thanksgiving holidays. Happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays to everyone. The Queens Auxiliary Annual Holiday Fair at the Queens Firehouse is December 7th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Crafters and suppliers will be selling all of your holiday needs. Village of Ravena Christmas Parade starting at Riverfront Park at the Queens Landing and finishing at Mosier Park will be December 7th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The town of Queens will have music and snacks at the Queens Landing for kickoff of the parade. Okay, and as you know, we've adopted the budget in our last meeting, and I'd just like to share this 2025 budget meeting message from the supervisor's office, just to provide some insights on how what we're doing and how we're doing it. It is the duty and responsibility of the chief financial officer, in this case also serving as the supervisor, to combine strategic financial oversight with leadership of the town's overall operations. This ensures alignment of fiscal planning with municipal goals. The business office manager supports these efforts by focusing on administrative financial operations such as procurement and maintaining financial records and acting as a bridge between staff and CFO. The town's accountant handles detailed financial tasks, including ledger maintenance, reconciling accounts, and ensuring accurate and timely financial reporting, often providing the data used by the CFO for decision-making. Together, these rules ensure strategic leadership, operational efficiency, and fiscal accountability for the town. As supervisor, the CFO provides direction across all departments, manages the budget, oversees compliance, and sets long-term priorities for the town. In preparing the 2025 budget for the town of Queens, the office staff for the supervisor closely worked and listened to the needs of department heads, appointees, employees, and the town board. The overarching point being that a town budget is not created by just one person, but is created by utilizing relevant information and following the history and trends of the number. The first order of our business was to cut hidden waste and reduce estimated budget lines for a trim type budget, which frees up funds to be contributed to a safe and versatile liquid asset fund with a much higher yield for the town than traditional low-yield bank accounts. In cooperation with this strategic economic plan is an increase in communication. An open, accessible, approachable administration, the town, the village of Ravena, their residents, and the RCS school district have begun a process that will help us not only prosper financially, but flourish as a community, working together towards a common goal. That communication is carried digitally as well. With the new and updated website of the town of Queens, we will increase transparency by posting an easy-to-read budget and revenue reports. Our contribution to Liquid Asset Fund has already increased the town's revenue by almost $20,000 per month and is projected to earn $190,000 annually. This reduction of waste in concert with a novel increase in the town's revenue has given the town the ability to purchase a property to be used as town hall that is centrally located and easily accessible for residents and department heads alike. In this way, as a town, we will be able to meet all the challenges and opportunities ahead in the future. Queens is growing and has a strong municipal leadership in all departments. The town of Queens will continue to strengthen our fiscal planning while navigating the global industries surrounding local communities and state officials that work alongside us. Rest assured, the hard work is being done here in Queens. We are not simply tasked with building a town, but growing a community. Did everyone receive their November 14th town board meeting minutes and the November 6th budget hearing meeting minutes?
Yes, we did.
We'll get a chance to review them. I'd like to make a motion to accept both the November 6th the November 14th town board meeting minutes and the November 6th budget public hearing minutes.
I second both of those.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Into the record. All right, let's start with the supervisor's report for October 2024. In general fund, balance forward is $598,320.30, with receipts of $266,761.36, disbursements of $499,308.52, for a balance of $365,772.77. NICLAS earned interest general A fund month was $12,091. Consolidated account balance forward $644.25. Receipts of $581,294.95. Disbursements of $581,291.74 for a balance of $647.46. Part Town balance forward $62,120.41. Receipts $1,745.43. Disbursements $26,549.81 for a balance of $37,316.03. With NICLAS earned interest $7,007.30. Highway Part Town balance forward $69,608.74. Receipts of $391,371.98. Disbursements of $304,559.16. Balance of $156,421.56. With a NICLAS earned interest of $865.47. Highway Part Town balance forward $21,206.19. Receipt of 18 cents. Disbursements of $8,500.28. For a balance of $12,706.09. The NICLAS earned interest of $199.90. Sewer balance forward $135,251.99. Receipts of $50,335.21. Disbursements of $59,068.72. A balance of $126,518.48. NICLAS earned interest of $1,199.41. Trust and agency balance forward $18,430.57. Receipts of $209,030.76. Disbursements of $206,084.93. $20,665.30. Police forfeitures are out of capital projects balance forward $20,049.07. Received $70,000.18. Disbursements $78,398.75. Balance of $12,010.50. NICLAS earned interest $375.18. HUD Section 8 balance forward $8,572.19. Receipts of $60,893.94. Disbursements of $54,376.03. Balance of $10,090.10. Total reconciled balances $742,148.60. And our in our cemeteries are Grove Cemeteries at $928.57 with a NICLAS earned interest of $119.91. Queens Hollow Cemetery at $546.80, a NICLAS earned interest at $12. Oak Cliff Cemetery at $320.97, earned interest at $55.94. Bank of Greene County and National Bank of Coxsackie have FDIC coverage $250,000, fertilized $731,125.42. Attached is the night class report. Just if you want year to date, is $41,067.15, and this month's interest earned for October is $21,870.02. I'd like to make a motion to accept the supervisor's report into the record.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Just for discussion, so our total balance in night class is $5,516,203.13. Was there any additional money deposited during the month of
No.
October?
No.
Okay. And there was no withdrawals for the,
Correct. Actually, there was that this month? $300,000 for the, that was this month? Okay.
For the highway?
No.
in this report, there was a $100,000 deposit from general, $250,000 highway park town, and $350,000, or for a total of $350,000.
And that must be the 350 I'm thinking about. Okay.
So there was money deposited during the month of October.
October.
Yeah, correct.
And then the $70,000 withdrawal from capital projects H, what was that for?
I'll have to get back to you on that one. I can't remember
Okay.
right now. Did you second that? Any further discussion?
I did.
So the end balance, in night class is $5.8 million now. 5.8,
Right, the beginning balance was $5,516,203.13.
so $5,818,067.15, okay. And we don't, okay, and we don't know what the withdrawal was for?
Well, you can if you want to go back into the minute. Remember what we did that for. It was highlighted. I'll have to go back and check for you. If you want to send me an email, you can answer that tomorrow.
Do we want to table this then?
Towards paving?
I'm thinking that it was, but I'm not 100% sure.
Do we want to table your garage report for our next meeting?
I'm coming with September quarter.
Gentlemen?
When we set up night class, I was comfortable with night class, but withdrawals, I'd like to know what the withdrawals are for, and I don't remember everything from October.
Yeah, we spoke about
I'd like to, it'd be nice to know exactly what it's for.
Sure, let's do
I
that.
mean, it's a good spreadsheet. I think it tells
It's a
lot
great
of information.
spreadsheet, I'd just like to know,
Just, maybe just a note
on
next
the
to it
bottom,
for any
withdrawals
withdrawal.
and what they were for and all that. I mean, I'd like to know, just to make me more comfortable, and I think it would make it a better report,
Sounds good.
but
Okay.
if you want to table it, I would be good for tabling it, but,
I mean, I'm sure it's something simple you can think of it.
Make a motion to table the supervisor's report for October.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
it's nice to see that night class is making money, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really to give the public, the information.
Sure.
I agree.
Dennis, you want to read your report?
For the town clerk's monthly report for October 2024, in the A fund, we put in a total of $123,365.81. Most of that was water rents. Fortunately, the cemeteries were very busy. And, mostly water and cemetery on that one. And the B fund, we pulled in $2,295. That was handed over to the supervisor. And for the sewer fund, we pulled in $9,531, handed over to the supervisor for a total local shares remitted of $135,191.81. New York Ag and Markets for Spade and Neuter Program received $27. New York State Department of Health received $90. New York State DEC received $1,075.75 for a total non-local revenue of $1,192.75. So the total state, county, and local revenues for October were $136,456.
Make a motion to accept the town clerk's October 2024 report.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Chief, you had
Sure.
your report, thank
Good evening. So the Cleveland Police Department for the month of October, 904 calls for service through the town, resulted in 7 criminal arrests. We effected 132 traffic stops, issued 85 tickets townwide. There was 1 DWI arrest. There were 12 automobile accidents, 11 were property damage, 1 was personal injury. Ongoing matters, I didn't have this written down, but I just want to mention to you that we are applying for this PREED through the Motor Vehicle Department to find an enforcement arm for parking tickets and violations in the town and village. So in case of parking tickets are followed through with scofflaw provisions if fail to answer the ticket, something that's been wanting for some time now. So the application has been submitted. I'll report back when I hear them.
Thanks. I make a motion to accept the police report for October 2024.
I'll second it. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
I'll second it.
Oh, was there any discussion on that? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. That brings us to, okay, so you said you
I'll do Jason's.
Jason?
If you'd like, quickly. Yeah. So for the building department, report for October 2024, permits issued 14, COCC, certificate of occupancy 9, operating permits 2, fire inspections 10, complaints are 4, building inspection 48, permit renewals 3, building fees were $1,225, minor subdivisions 3, planning fees $550, lot line adjustments 1, zoning fees $50, property search 4, and then miscellaneous fees can be $400. And that's it.
make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Report is accepted. Let's do, so Keith is not here either. I guess he can do his next month. Yeah. Make a motion to table Keith's report for October.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that leaves Dan.
Good evening, board. Good evening, everyone in the TV land and people here this evening. Highway report for October 2024. Starting out with the roads, as always, we put up the snow fence on Upper Powell Hill. If you're not familiar with that, we always get the snow drifts from the west to the east. So the residents up there are nice enough to let us put some snow fence on their property. Doesn't look the best, but it lends a great big hand when it comes to trying to keep the snow drifts down on the upper part of Powell Hill. So I'm very thankful for the residents up there for allowing us to use their property for that. We had a culvert collapse on Lower Tracy Road, so the crew jumped into action and replaced that. They did a nice job. That's done. And then always at the end of the year, trying to catch up on doing a lot of blacktop patching, Blossom, Indian Fields Road in Zabel, Court Extension, Crudo Road, Waterboard Road. And then we also took care of a few spots for the sewer department. As you're well aware of, dug up 2 spots on 9th View by the new town hall and then by the County Bank. So we went back and dug out the stone and put black
blacktop in there, because it is on the side of a state highway. Then he also had a spot down at the sewer plant, a 20 by 20 area that we, put blacktop in there as well. They did a nice job, it came out very nice. I'm not sure why, I think there was a water main break down there maybe. So they dug it up and there was stone, so we went down and took care of that. Moving into the garage, as you guys know, we work with all of our neighboring municipalities. So we helped out the village of Ravena. C16 went way up by Comstock, and they got special red sand up there for Mosier Park ball field over here. So we always go every year and help them haul the sand down. So Harry Standard did that with his truck. We put brakes on the police, I think it's Roger's car, right, Chief? The detective car. Again, whatever we can do to help out the police. The detective's car, the brakes were defective, so we took care of that. Pool does a good job with that stuff. C3, our little dump truck, the transmission stuff was rotting out, so we spare truck, so we replaced the pan and the linkage. C11 went to the village as well. They did some paving and we helped them spread topsoil. We backed up the edge of the block up on Hillcrest and Maplecrest. Okay. Town hall, pretty quiet, so nothing to report there. Moving on to the parks, finished up the mowing of the year, thank God. We do a lot of mowing at the cemeteries and the parks. It's a lot, but the seasonal guys did a great job. And I just want to thank them for their service. Mr. Paul Faulkner, Christopher Radley, and Jaden Ridley, they did a good job. Again, as you guys know, the cemeteries are sacred grounds. We take them very seriously, and they're up to the challenge of keeping them nice. Okay, so they did a good job, and I appreciate it. Moving on to the cemeteries, we had 2 full burials in the month of October. There were some corner markers that we repaired, and again, we're always fighting the weeds and the vegetation. So you guys see that I buy some weed killer. We've been spraying that around down there, so it's working out pretty good. That's about it.
Thanks, Dan. I make a motion to accept the highway department report for October.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? None, all in favor?
Aye.
Accepted. Any liaison discussion from PDBA, police, highway? There's a bit of news from the sewer. We have a $500,000 grant that we were awarded for the town of Queens for the 2 lift stations and some of the connecting sewer from congressional grant from Paul Tonko's office. There's an opportunity to collect more or to apply for more, $8 million to 3, depending on. And I just thought I'd let you guys know that that's happening.
And is there something that to get that money?
Yeah, there are a couple of different things. We have to do an environmental review and fill out this. I'm not sure.
Or, if there's other money on the table between $2 and $3 million, to try to get any of that money, do we have to do anything else? We have to, I'm sure we have to put an application in and maybe hire a grant writing firm.
We're starting the relationship with LaBerge, and I'm
maybe
getting
LaBerge, whatever one we think fits best, but we'll have to talk about that before we decide who we're going to use for that.
LaBerge has much more experience with sewer grants, and they've done it for the guy that I'm talking to has done it for the past 30 years. So they have a bit more technical prowess in that area.
Yeah, just keep us informed of that. And I don't mind using somebody other than BOCES. I mean, we paid BOCES to do grant writing. I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
if we don't use BOCES for that, that we will get our money's worth out of BOCES,
Yeah.
for other things.
I'm pretty sure I sent out an email with all the LaBerge describing everything, all of the $1 million and the 1.8 to 3 million.
Yeah,
Chat.
you did mention,
Did I?
but we didn't get down to the specifics of like who's gonna take charge of the 500,000 versus the extra $2 to $3 million. So when we get close to that, and let's make sure we don't get too close to that. Let's talk about it.
That was the other point. Now, I do remember sending that email because it was the day that I went down because Riverview house went down, and I went down with Keith to talk to the service manager down there to see what was necessary, and both pumps and the blade system need to be replaced. But he said he was pretty confident that the structure is solid. There's no concrete falling apart issues, no structural issues to that. I think MJ had estimates for submersibles at Division and Riverview, which were each one were like $500,000. According to the guy from Eamon's, that may not be necessary, so we need to get 2 more quotes, but we got a quote for around $85,000. So we're just at the very beginning of it. This was just last week. So I just wanted to let you guys know that through emails and then the public.
But either way, I think the $500,000 is great. We've been talking about the sewer for a while and how it needs some work. So any money is welcome.
It's a USDA grant, so it's it's welcome. That's for sure.
A resolution authorizing the applicant to produce the grant.
There might be. There's one of the resolutions we have tonight is for general contract between LaBerge so that we can kind of get the ball rolling.
Usually specifically with grants, there's an authorization to apply for that grant.
Yeah. Ben is very knowledgeable in that area. I think Rich had a conversation with him today.
It's my understanding from a conversation I had with Ben is that into just sort of a general contract that allows you to then go to LaBerge for specific requests for particular projects. He would provide a proposal leading to the $500,000 because I think there is, now that it's been allocated or by the federal government, then there is an application process and someone who would help administer the grant process.
Any further discussion? Okay, just letting you know. So in old business, we have the Liberty Affordable Housing. I contacted them so that we can have a conversation. And at the risk of getting sick of hearing my voice, I'm going to read this 2-page letter that they wrote because it's very articulate and it spells out exactly the plans for civil housing. So, the letter starts, Dear Supervisor Donnelly and members of the Town Board of Queens, we sincerely appreciate your ongoing dedication to supporting affordable housing initiatives within our community. Today we write to urgently request your consideration for a new payment in lieu of taxes, a pilot agreement for civil housing, senior housing apartments, a critical measure to ensure the continued operation and improvement of this vital housing resource. Civil senior housing apartments located in Ravena, a low-income housing tax credit property that provides affordable housing for low-income seniors based on the area median income. The complex includes 28 units, with 5 units at 50% AMI, 22 units at 60% AMI, and 1 market rate unit. Serving residents aged 55 plus with disabilities or 60 plus, this community ensures affordable housing for some of our vulnerable citizens. We know civil senior housing apartments is housing historically significant to while maintaining the war memorial on its grounds. Amenities such as a room, library, laundry facilities, weekly shopping, transportation, and secure building access. Unfortunately, the property has faced a deferred maintenance in recent years. In response, Liberty Affordable Housing Incorporated, a local non-union with extensive experience in affordable housing, has been enlisted by New York State Housing and Community Renewal to improve the property's overall condition. Liberty, alongside CRM Rental Management, a seasoned management team with over 55 years of experience, began overseeing the property as of September 1st, 2024, and is committed to enhancing the quality of life for its residents. Our immediate priorities include upgrading infrastructure, such as the heating system and water heaters, addressing urgent repairs to the building foundation, sidewalks, lighting, fire doors, and more. With support from the Preventative Troubled Assist Program, an additional future funding through the Community Preservation Corporation's Climate-Friendly Home Initiative, we are poised to make significant improvements that will surrounding community. The additional projected improvements include masonry repair, storing, roofing, windows, all equipment upgrades and updates, fully electrification and energy efficient systems. Sustainability of this vital community resource is at risk without your support. Currently under Section 581A of the Real Property Tax Law, the civil senior housing apartment property is assessed at $100,000, resulting in the annual tax payment of $1,967.09 for school taxes, $277.19 for town, and $334.56 for county. Given the property's negative cash flow and the significant need for urgent repairs, we are proposing a renewed pilot agreement starting at $5,000 annually for the next 5 years with a 2% annual escalator for years 6 through 30. We deem this is currently fair given the circumstances of the property and the current assessed 581 value, providing an additional option for the town. As you know, within the pilot, in the Section 577 tax exemptions, housing finance law, within this pilot agreement, the town determines where the tax installment goes, split amongst the town, county, and school, or 100% directly to the town. Beyond the numbers, this decision profoundly impacts the lives of 28 seniors who call civil home. The continued availability of affordable housing provides not only a place to live, but also stability, security, and a sense of belonging during their senior years. The support of the board, Liberty and CRO are committed to maintaining and enhancing the services and support we provide to these residents. We respectfully request that the town help secure the financial sustainability of senior housing apartments. Your approval will ensure that this complex continues to serve as a corner in your continued commitment to support affordable. We look forward to your favorable response and are available to provide any additional information or clarification as needed. It'll be affordable.
Have they replaced the heating system yet? Because I know last October there was many tenants complaining, and there was a temporary heater, which I believe is still there. So has it actually been replaced?
As of today, yes, it has been hooked up, and we have Trojan coming out tomorrow to remove and disconnect that old boiler that's out front.
Okay.
Yes.
And also you're talking about a pilot, so are we going through the IDA?
Yes, so I'd like to welcome Liberty here, and they're available for questions from the board and any other members.
Could I just have your names and your titles? Yep. Just so I can.
Elizabeth Baker, Chief Development Officer, Affordable Housing.
And I'm Ray Dunn, Executive Director with Liberty Affordable Housing and CEO for Sealand.
John Vaginellis, Counsel to Liberty Affordable Housing.
John, to her question, could you answer?
Sure. To your question, you're correct. IDAs can offer tax abatements or pilots. This is not that program. The IDA enabling statute is a general municipal law, and this statute that's in play here would be the New York State Private Housing Finance Law that allows the town board to approve a tax exemption pursuant to section 577 of the private housing finance law for a project such as this one.
So the New York State housing law makes it okay to not do this through the IDA, whereas opposed like we just had an issue with an assessment
Right.
agreement, so we're not gonna have another issue.
I'm not gonna have another issue like we,
Correct.
Don't you think 30 years is a long time for a pilot?
Was the last one 30 years? Was it?
I'm not sure.
It's because they're renewing it, so how long was the last one for? Does anybody know?
I mean, typically, in our experience, because the permanent financing for a project is 30 years, 30 years is not outside the norm. There are some jurisdictions that adopt a shorter period. Keep in mind, though, for whatever period you do approve, the project needs to maintain its affordability. So in order to qualify under the statute, whether it's 15 or 30 years, if it's a 30-year pilot, the project has to remain affordable for that 30 years.
It guarantees its affordability as in that manner. And I'm not sure on the dates, but I know when the original, the owner that currently is in place that we're replacing, I think was involved with this in the 90s. So I think the pilot is in that neighborhood of maybe, it expired a few years back, but I'm thinking it was probably 30 years when it was set up originally, because it was
Yeah.
the state as well.
Yeah.
So, but we can double,
Sure.
double check.
I mean, affordability, again, I get what you're saying, like, if you have a 30-year pilot, it has to be affordable for 30 years. You can't, raise rates and make it unaffordable. But does that also go for the quality of living? Because I just want to it sounds like you're doing great things, like fixing the heating system. And I know Mr. Donnelly has visited and talked to more of the people who live in that building than I have. So there's other issues as well, and you named remedying a lot of those. But as long as a pilot's going for 30 years and it's affordable, it also has to be upkept and problems fixed, maintained well. And I feel like that's what you're saying you're going to do, right? And I hope you do. But I think that's an important part too. As long as the pilot goes, it should be affordable and the quality of living should be upheld to where the standards should be. That would be my big concern.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we agree with you 110%. We have partnered with New York State Housing and Community Renewal. They actually reached out to Liberty Affordable Housing and said, hey, this property needs help.
Yeah.
This is a distressed property financially and physically. And we have over 40 communities throughout New York State, upstate New York, where we partner with HCR all the time on these properties. And we've had them past their 15-year period, past 30 years. And we will continue to, strive to provide, as a non-for-profit, we strive for providing that type of housing, affordable, and providing that better lives through better housing mission.
We will add though too, the state has committed over $1 million just as of last week for emergency funds for the project. And they have committed to for us to be able to do a full-fledged redevelopment of the property in 2026 to be awarded. So as soon as we get the project stabilized, that included hooking up a new boiler system as of this morning, I believe, in stabilizing the property, getting through the heating months. We're going to be working diligently on putting forth a redevelopment package that the state is requesting us to do. And that may involve, and they've asked us to look at adding additional units there if there is a possibility. So, that was a previous conversation. So if there is a need here in the community for additional units, we will look into doing that as well. And, this won't be the last time that you hear from us and have a conversation as to what we're doing and what we're providing with the community. And we are here managing as well as redeveloping it too. So we are committed and embedded to be your partners here in the community.
Steve, there was one other thing. I think in that letter it said that it's in the village of Ravena or in the town of Ravena. It's town of Queens.
Yeah, that was a question that, I'm actually going through Linda, who's absent, fell in her hand. So I called her today and she asked these same questions, 30 years, the boiler, and then the mailing address, of Ravena, and is it not Queens?
It is Queens, but I
It's
believe,
known as-
Queens.
yeah,
Yes.
it's in the hamlet, 'cause my house is the first one in the hamlet.
Right.
But I believe that there was an agreement set up with the post office because, these people do not get out that often, that Ravena delivers the mail to the office there. So that's why they have the.
But the building itself is in the town of
Technically,
Queens.
yes, it's in the town of Queens.
And so what is your plan between now and let's say 2026 for improvements, other than, you know, the boiler being replaced this morning? Do you have a
Heating and
plan?
hot water, we got hot water, brand new hot water tanks being installed. Hopefully by year's end, they're on order now. Should be another 3 to 4 weeks at most, before they're due to be in place.
Through CPC, through the Climate Friendly Homes Fund, they are providing us with significant funding to put mini splits, fully electrification the entire building. And in addition to that, we plan on upgrading all units eventually, working on the lighting, the sidewalk repairs.
We've actually started installing lighting. We've got emergency door replacement, security needs. We have also, there are currently 3 or 4 units that are offline or not, that are vacant, that we're going to be immediately renovating. One of them is completely offline and actually was not to be rented per code. We're gonna go in and do a full update, new kitchens, new appliances, all that we will be doing with the full-fledged redevelopment in 26. We've got some funds earmarked to be able to get started on and get these units back online. The goal is to get it fully rentable and get it back in a proper living state. And then it'll take, you know, I know it seems like 2026 is a long ways off, but there's a lot that needs to be done. There is historic value to that building, so, you know, we'll be applying for historic tax credits. The windows will all be replaced, you know, preserved and replaced to, you know, capacity. We do have history with historical renovated projects. We just completed a 153 unit, 140-year-old building in Utica, New York, called Obelston Apartments. And I think this is a big reason why the state called us, because they recognize what we were able to take a condemned building and completely restore it, and you know, put it back into place. So, you know, we'll have a full scope of work that we would be happy to share with the board as we progress. A lot of this was dependent on funding. The state had funds available, but the work that needs to be done far surpassed what the state was currently had in place. So they went back to the drawing board and have asked us to come in with a creative approach, because they want to reinvest in we said that we weren't gonna get involved unless we were able to do the project the right way. And that is the full way. We didn't wanna put a Band-Aid on it.
No.
And know that it would need substantial amount of work 10 years or 5 years down the road. So the state is committed to seeing this project completely renovated and preserved. In addition to that, they have asked us if we would look at the possibility of adding more units on the site. So that will be a further conversation that we will be having with y'all. And we look forward to the process, and we're committed to the challenge.
During the process of renovation and ultimate redevelopment of the property, will there be any displacement of any current residents? Now, I think you may have answered my thoughts by saying you have some vacant units already.
Yep.
So would the process be fix vacant stuff and then maybe shuffle people around as you're doing things to kind of give them
Right.
so there wouldn't be any displacement of any current residents? They wouldn't lose a spot or anything like that?
That's the idea. Nobody would be losing a spot, so to speak. We've renovated and preserved historic units in projects very similar where we do renovation, we call it renovation in place, okay? It takes some creativity, logistics, but I'll give you, for instance, we completed a project in downtown Albany, Robinson Square Apartments. It was 118 units spread over 26 buildings. We were renovating literally as residents were living in those units. We would come in at 8 a.m. and we'd ask the residents to leave, and they'd be back at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and their apartment would be completely clean and ready for them to live for the rest of the night, come back in and do the same thing the next day. There's logistics that go within this, but having vacant units to shift people in for a period of time is another approach as well. But nobody will be displaced. If they had to, they'd even be put up in a hotel. There's ways that these things get done to ensure that it's done right, and everybody would have the same upgrades that everybody else would have.
Any further questions?
Mr. Riley, on the legal end, this is, you know, okay to have, like, you know, Ms. McHugh said, it's not gonna be an issue as far as.
They've forwarded me the section in the state law, I've taken a look at that. They have forwarded a proposed pilot agreement, which I can go through. We just wanted to be sure that there was a consensus really among the town board before I really dug into that.
I'm all for, you know, low-income, affordable housing. I think it's a great building, you know, historical. So, you know, I hope they can do what they say they're gonna do and be part of the community.
Yeah, I mean, I've been through a few apartments down there, you know, talking to some people down there, and I know the water's an issue, the boiler's always been an issue, the roof leaks, I mean, I understand, I mean, it's always been, and I'd rather see it, you know, be redone.
I know in the long run, you know, 2026, you have a lot to do, but now that that big truck's out, the boiler is gone, I know a lot of the pavements there are in bad shape. I have a friend who lives there, and she said it's really hard, and she has a walker. And I was hoping that
That's all part of the plan.
that would happen sooner than later.
Well, it won't happen this winter. As far as there is funds allocated, and that will be part of that. All that parking will be redone. It's all going to be repaid. There's going to be probably additional spaces allocated. All that's going to be part of the master plan. Again, you know, I just want everybody to understand, we're taking over. We've been asked to come in and help solve a problem that the state has desperately wanted to solve, and a lot of this is based upon the availability and funds that it's going to determine what can get done. So when we originally came in and they said, this is what we have and what we can allocate to you, we told them that wasn't enough. And that there was, for this project to be done right, from exterior to interior, from infrastructure to, you know, living conditions, that, you know, unfortunately, costs of everything has gone up. So what was allocated in their coffers 5 years ago is doubled, okay? So now it's a creative process on both sides, but I will tell you that the state has expressed their commitment to making sure that this building and this project is not lost. And, you know, we're happy to be a part of it, but there will be complete renovations done based upon their commitment to this project being done. So I can assure you what I've been told as well, is that they're committed to making sure that this is done right. And we're gonna stand behind it because it's our reputation as well.
The one thing that I'm hearing is they're not really sure what they're gonna be doing. So I think before we give a pilot program, there should be some stipulations. You know what I'm saying?
Timeline.
You
What were
don't
you
just-
unclear about? I thought they were extremely clear.
Well, he's saying based on the money. So the money could just do 10 rooms. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's unfair to ask that we see like some sort of comprehensive plan.
Yeah, right.
And what their goals are and their timeline is, you know, while we're discussing, you know, how to proceed and.
Do you have a sense of timing with the state in terms of, it seems like now they've indicated that they want to and they're committed to. Do you know when you'll have sort of firm commitments from the state in terms of actual dollars that would let you identify
Well, as
specifically?
I said, we've got roughly $2 million allocated in emergency funds between the grant fund and the state's emergency fund relief that we are gonna immediately be updating all the heating, air conditioning, and hot water systems, lighting systems. We can share a summary of what we currently have available to what we can do over the next 6 to 12 months. The state has said that they would not be able to award anything until 2026. So it's our job to put together, they've already seen our scope of work, which involves a complete renovation and restoration and preservation of that building. And that was to the tune of about $10 million. What they're asking for is the ability they want us to actually do more. I'd say that's a pretty nice thing to hear.
No, I understand.
I think you had indicated maybe that you had a full scope of work that you
We
could
do,
share.
and we
with
can
us.
share that preliminary
Yes.
scope
Yes.
with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other thing that I would like to question is, she asked about the sidewalks. Well, to me, most of those people don't drive.
Yeah.
So I think the sidewalks are more important than that parking lot. My opinion.
Right, but also too, he does mention, you know, not this winter. I mean, in the winter, it's hard to do sidewalk work and blacktop work, but, you know, I would hope, like you said, when,
The
Yeah.
sidewalks are on the PTAP funding.
Yeah.
that We are receiving shortly, so as soon as,
It's a health and
spring comes,
safety
it is a health
Yeah,
and safety.
I have a friend that, she said, and the wall is falling down.
And the foundation repair,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
in that,
Retaining
Yes.
wall.
Okay.
Well, that retaining wall, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like what I hear so far. Like I said, I think it'd be a good, not a bad idea to get the, you know, extra information and we can,
share all that. We can send
I
it
mean-
over as early as tomorrow morning.
I appreciate you guys coming here and informing us of what your plans are, and it was very nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Right.
nice to meet you too.
Sounds good.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Glad that you could
Thank
come
you.
and talk to us.
She's old.
I'm old, but I went to school there.
I think the units are impressive. There's great space there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else to do?
No, you guys leaving? It was nice to see you again, Elizabeth.
Have a great
Randy,
night.
John, nice to see you.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Gary.
Are we on to resolutions?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first one, that's you, Mike.
Yep, me. I, Councilmember Stott, offering the following resolution and moves adoption. Whereas the Chief Fiscal Officer has determined that in order to maintain proper balances within various accounts, several inter-fund transfers are necessary. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Queens does hereby authorize Supervisor Stephen Donnelly to transfer the funds as depicted below for the budget year 2025. In General A Fund, the amount of $9,516.24 from account A A1990.4 contingency to account A1420.4 attorney contractual, $1,335.27 from account A1990.4 contingency to A5132.4 garage contractual, $800 from account A1990.4 contingency to account A7270.4 band concert contractual, $700.50 from account A1990.4 contingency to A8090.1 environmental control leachate facility personal, $1,346.63 from account A1990.4 contingency to account A8090.4 environmental control leachate facility contractual, $1,662.02 from A190.4 contingency to A8810.1 cemeteries personal services, $20,000 from account A3120.1 law enforcement personal services to account A3120.2 law enforcement equipment, $14,000 from account A120.1 law enforcement personal services to account A3120.4 law enforcement contractual, and lastly, $115.74 from account DB other employee benefits to account DB 9055.8 disability insurance. Now, Mr. Donnelly, do you want to?
I'll second it.
Yeah, we'll second it first.
Any discussion?
I would just ask that the supervisor / chief fiscal officer just provide a breakdown with some detail as to why these amounts are being transferred.
So all the 1990.4s contingency have to be cross-leveled because there was in order to be reconciled, they're in the negative currently, so we have to move them over so that the accounts can be reconciled. And just for the fact that, for instance, cemetery, Dan and Candace made it, there was just more money spent, so we have to cross-level that account with contingency money. That's what it's for. And then it just goes up the same with Leach-A. There was more money spent there. Same with the band and the garage. And the attorney's fees.
And do we have a balance as of right now? What is left in contingency fund?
Contingency fund is at 0 now.
So there's no money in contingency from here forward.
Correct. Which is why we kind of saw this coming at 120, which is why we had it at 140. We took the 20 back out and put it back in A. Yeah. But so we are following the numbers. So I think for 2025 we were correct at 140, but it's not a problem. You know, we can move.
Yeah, I just think we have to be cautious. You know, we have a month left in our fiscal calendar year, and we have to, you know, for this year's budget, we just have to, you know, do the best we can to try and make sure that, you know, because a contingency fund is really an emergency fund. So I don't care. I don't have an issue with transferring money from contingency. I just personally would not want to be in a situation where we get to November 25th and we have 0 money in contingency for the month of December. I mean, is it a big deal? No, but we also don't know what.
That's why we had 140 there.
Well, just by increasing that number, that doesn't, to me, that's not being, you know, I mean, we could up it to 300,000, but that's not being fiscally responsible, you know.
We're just following the numbers. And we thought for 2025 we'd probably hit 140.
I understand. I understand.
So we can see that, yeah, we're probably right on the money now. Because like you say, we can't know that there's going to be more burials than.
Correct.
You know. Okay, so and then is that the only one, or did you want me to go on with the law enforcement?
No, I think you
Okay.
You answered my questions.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Linda's absent.
I, Councilmember Hoteling, offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Be it resolved that the town board has approved the payment of bills as presented in the abstract for November 2024 as follows. Prepaid vouchers 24-01385 to 24-01444 from the following funds. General, $127,895.34. Park Town, $22,244.81. Highway Park Town DB, $45,367.85. Sewer, $24,553.16. Trusted Agency, $50,034.98. Voucher numbers 24-01445 to 24-01525 from the following funds. General, $1,070,119.04. Park Town, $4,225.26. Highway DA, $7,931.46. Highway Park Town DB, $19,345.76. Sewer, $20,624.48. And TA Fund, $2,170, no cents. Total for all funds, $1,397,512.14.
Second that. Any discussion?
So just for discussion purposes, so one of the vouchers, voucher number 24-01486. So that is for, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. That's another one I have a question on. Voucher number 24-01452 is for the Bank of Greene County, and that's for a cashier's check for the purchase of the new town hall building. So that money, it's $994,000. My understanding is that's coming from fund balance. Did we have to do some sort of motion to transfer money from fund balance to the A fund in order to write that check? Because
So, yeah, it's interesting. I spoke with Regina about that today, just in anticipation of the closing. She indicated that the voucher is how the accountant recommended it be processed. I don't know anything beyond that, other than that, that's what the two of them felt was the appropriate way to go about it.
okay, so you have confirmation from Regina, and you have and through Regina, you have confirmation from Sarah that this is appropriate and acceptable.
That's what she indicated to me today.
Okay.
That it would be done via voucher.
Okay.
Because I sort of
Because the way this looks is that all we're writing a $994,000 check out of General A, but nobody knows that it's really coming from fund balance. So.
And again, I didn't question them, but I asked how mechanically it would happen, and that's how she indicated they recommended it.
Okay. All right. I have a couple of other questions, concerns. Voucher 24-01478 is for P&M Brick LLC, and it's for the Crown Tower proceeds. Do you know anything about that tower? And because there was no explanation on the voucher other than P&M Brick to receive 50%.
You don't have the voucher?
What's that?
You don't have the voucher?
I have a picture of the voucher.
Oh, okay, yeah, let me see which one.
You signed the voucher.
Right. The communications tower.
It says something about like the landowner gets like 50%. Candace, do you know anything about that?
Oh, okay.
There is an agreement, a contractual agreement that 50% of the proceeds go back to the landowner, which is P&M Brick. I don't believe they were actually paid in 2023, so we
That's
have to
right.
hire to cover that.
Okay. So that's from last year's payment, that's what Regina was telling us. Yeah.
A portion of this year's too. You'd have to ask Regina about that specifically, but.
Yeah, this says total received was $30,380.09. And we're writing a check for $15,190.05.
Yeah, that was to get current for last year, yep.
And then the last voucher that I had a question with, it's not really a question, it's more of a comment. It's voucher number 24-01486, and it's to Tabner, Ryan, and Kearney, which is our planning ZBA attorney. So it looks like he charged us $2,500 to do training. I know we had talked about that, but I don't know where we left off with that. I don't remember ever giving approval for Mr. Kinnery to go ahead and have to give that training. I'm in support of that training, but I would just like to kind of have a heads up before we get a $2,500 bill, you know.
Yeah, and kind of on that, I talked to Linda Ziegler about it, and she said they used to go to Hudson Valley for training, and I'm more in favor for that.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
So what I can tell you, so I was on that board. I went to the Hudson Valley training year after year after year. It is $50 a person compared to, you know, whatever this breakdown would be.
Right.
The problem is that you go there 1 year, and for the next 6 years, it's the same material. So while you're getting your credit, your 4 hours of credit, it's the same material year after year after year. So I'm just hoping, the reason I brought this up is because I just wanted to have a quick discussion. I like the idea that Mr. Kinnery provided the training, because I think he can focus in on what that board is dealing with in our specific area. So I think there is value to it.
Right.
I just hope that in the future, like I think Mr. Stott pointed out that there was a $1,200 kind of prep fee for him to prepare the materials in order to give the training. So if we are going to proceed next year with him to do the training, maybe we can have a discussion with him and figure out ahead of time whether he's going to need $1,250 to prepare again, or whether.
I mean, it's a good point. I didn't know that about Hudson Valley. That's the same material, but I had a meeting with Bill and Rich, and he strikes me as a very good person to, get training from.
Yeah.
Seems very thorough,
Again, I'm
It's
not
definitely worth a
criticizing
discussion for
as much
next
as
year.
I'm bringing it up.
Right.
Well, and we talked too, like, if he wants to, again, I think it was probably a way better, more valuable training than Hudson Valley. Like I said, it's catered to our planning board, and it's more of an intimate setting. Only like 7 people, 8 people. And hopefully, if we did decide for Mr. Kinnery to do it again next year, would he have to prepare as much? Probably not. Maybe just add or subtract a few slides here and there, but it would only be maybe $1,200, $1,300 instead of $25. And if we budget for it, I think it's a valuable training that our planning and zoning board would get. But again, we have to budget for it and just make sure we have talks ahead of time. I know Ms. McHugh had her hand up to speak about it.
Past, previous PBZBA lawyers have done the training for free as part of their contract.
I see. That's what I thought.
Obviously, if he's just gonna raise his contract $2,500, what does it matter? But I don't know if it's something you could discuss with him for his contract that you'll have to renew in January. If you could negotiate that.
Yeah. We were trying to figure out, when we were talking about it, the previous Mr. Richter, right?
Mr. Brick.
Or Brick, sorry.
Brick,
Mr. Brick. Trying to figure out, how he did it, if he ever got paid, if it was part of his contract, and we couldn't get a hold of him, but, that's good to know.
Okay. So again, discussion more about forward thinking than anything else. So. And that's all I had for questions and comments on vouchers.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, what do we get? And Supervisor Donnelly offered the following resolution of its adoption. Whereas the town board of the town of Queens seeks to acquire additional professional planning and engineering services for the town of Queens, and whereas the Bridge Engineering and Consulting Group LTD has submitted a proposal to provide professional planning and engineering services to the town with specific scopes of service and expenditures to be presented to and approved by the town board as they are needed. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Queens does hereby authorize Supervisor Stephen Donnelly to sign, upon advice of council, a proposed agreement between the town of Queens, Albany County, New York, and LaBerge Engineering and Consulting Group LTD for professional services, draft dated November 18th, 2024, provided by LaBerge Engineering and Surveying Group Ltd.
I'll second that motion for discussion. So for discussion purposes, this agreement that you would be signing, there's no financial,
No.
component to it.
No, and in fact, well, here, I printed it out for you.
And basically this allows, and this is a copy of the agreement.
Yeah.
So this would have been helpful to have ahead of time, just so that I
Well, I
could,
sent it to our council and he went through it.
that's
a
great,
general
and I
agreement.
appreciate you doing that. But I would have liked to have, personally, I would have liked to have looked at that before we're, you know. So with that being said, I actually would like to table this resolution until the board has a chance to read this and review this agreement, unless Councilman Holtzman and Councilman Stott have reviewed this agreement already.
No, because like now I'm seeing it, it says there's a draft noted in this resolution and a draft that I don't have a copy of.
So I'll make a motion that we table resolution 128-24.
I'll second it.
Well, for further discussion, Rich, you did read this agreement?
I have gone through the agreement, correct.
Did it strike you as unusual in any way?
It appears to be their standard agreement. A lot of engineering firms will have a standard overall agreement, and then as you need their services on a case-by-case basis, they would send you a proposal that you would then approve or not, if you wanted to retain them for that specific work.
I understand that you looked at it and you're our counsel, but when there's a resolution that indicates that there's a draft, and I'm coming in here at 5:45, I don't see any of this material that you've reviewed that we're all supposed to make a decision on. I want to be able to see that stuff before I make a decision on it, knowing that you've looked at it, but I want to be able to see it too, so I can take a look at it, so I'm also comfortable with it as well, in case I have any questions on it that I want to be posed to you. So as much as I respect you and you've been great for us and all that, but I want to see stuff. And I haven't seen stuff, so I
don't understand why this would just be presented to us now at 7:13.
Understood. All those in favor of tabling?
Aye. And then
Motion is tabled.
you'll send that to everybody?
To us?
Yeah, you keep this one. Or do you want an electronic copy?
No, I mean, this is fine, but
yeah.
I didn't want to steal your copy.
No, I printed it. It's okay. Minutes? There we go. No, you're good. Okay.
I, Councilmember Schmidt, offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas a correction is needed on page 26 of the 2025 adopted budget. And whereas the correction to be made is on page 26, Queens Hollow Fire District, amount to be raised by taxes was entered in error as $511,527. And whereas the correct amount for budget line Queens Hollow Fire District, amount to be raised by taxes, is $435,042. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Queens Town Board authorizes Supervisor Stephen Donnelly to amend above mentioned budget line from $511,527 to the correct amount of $435,042 in the 2025 adopted budget.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
So for discussion, this is just a line adjustment?
Yeah, Regina brought this to me this morning and said that it was simply a clerical error. Cheryl from the town clerk's office brought it to her attention for the Queens Hollow Fire District.
And because we simply collect the money for the fire district and then provide them with the check, there's no other line adjustment that has to be made to the budget.
Right.
No, but in order to do your tax bills, you have to have the correct amount. 511 is the total revenue for the firehouse. The 435 is what they're collecting from taxes. So that's what we have to put in our special districts.
Okay.
So the first budget said that they had a 16% increase. When in actuality, they had a 1.2% decrease in their budget.
So there's, in the budget, under that line, we're changing 511 and change to 435 and whatever. Do the rates also change in that line
The
item?
percentage?
Yeah.
Yes. It
So-
it actually changes to like 1.2. I can print that page out. I know Regina sent it to me today. So if you would like, you
So
can.
those rates will change also in this budget then?
Yes.
Yeah, just the Queen Matsala one, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we're, not only we're changing that box, we're changing the 3 other boxes alongside of it.
Percentage box.
And
Just
should
that
that,
one for Queen Matsala.
should that be mentioned in the
The
resolution?
resolution as well, or
It doesn't have to be.
it doesn't have to, is it?
No, that's strictly for, informational purposes. Somebody may look at it and be like, oh my gosh, they went up 16%.
Okay.
When they didn't. So on the tax bills, it usually does give you the percentage of what each special district did go up.
Okay,
Yeah, like I said,
So actually went slightly down.
so and then you'll just it'll show correct on the website with the proper number and,
Yeah, I can't upload the budget to the website. It's not taken.
okay.
So I did put a note on there that the budget has been adopted and it's available here for people who would like a copy.
And that page.
Yes,
Okay.
yep.
All right. As long as you get fixed up, I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm satisfied.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Just before we further, I think we had to motion. So I'm gonna, make a motion for the town, to publish the notice, for the public hearing, to discuss the sewer rents, at our next town board meeting, which I believe is December 12th, 2024, at 6:00 PM.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Upcoming meetings, November 26th is PBZBA meeting at 7 o'clock, and then they have another one on December 9th at 7 o'clock. December 12th is our next meeting at 6 p.m. And we're also doing a public hearing. What time is the public hearing?
It's set to
6
6 p.m.
o'clock.
as well.
It does, okay.
Excuse me, did we discuss 9.3? Did I miss that? Resolving capital.
We tabled a couple
that.
of things.
And also the PBZBA meeting at 7 o'clock is, the third one is on December 18th. And that's it for upcoming meetings. If there's any public comment, step up to the lectern, please.
First question, did you get another estimate for the proposed town hall?
I don't, how do you,
What we said, last meeting, MJ, we said was high, and, we thought it was more than, and we're seeing if we could get another second, we were looking at what we were.
yeah, we have to discuss that. That's a
Okay.
larger conversation at this point.
Are we closing on that building?
We are set to close on December 5th.
So you're buying a building, but you really don't know how much it's gonna cost to rehab it? Correct?
Yeah, we're gonna need some new numbers.
So you're gonna close before you get the new numbers?
Yeah.
Don't you think it's a little careless?
No, I think the building suits the needs of the town as it sits right now, and,
Then why are we adding on to it?
well, we haven't added on to it yet. We haven't had any
No,
numbers.
but you said it fits our needs, so why are we gonna add on to it?
It does.
Then why are we gonna add on to it?
We haven't added on to it yet. We're still discussing it. It's a larger
You just said
conversation.
to me, this building fits our needs,
It does.
then why are we adding on to it?
Oh, you're talking about the addition?
Yes.
Yeah,
For the courthouse. We're gonna need a court that,
then that's gonna be $4 million?
we don't know the price yet.
We have an estimate.
Well, that's an estimate.
We do. 2.1 is the
Is-
estimate
is the
from
addition.
MJ.
Right. Okay, because at one time you told me it was gonna be $1 million and a half.
Those were estimates from 600.
I know, but you did tell me that, now it's 4 million. For 5 million.
I just have to say that I am just repeating the numbers that I got, 600 a square, what we got from MJ. We had a different piece of information come in today, because this is all happening all the time, so.
Okay.
Let's say that,
For
that 600 square
$5 million.
foot is actually kind of high. I think the quote is the Long Island prices. So we're hoping.
I know.
Hoping.
Reality are two different
I know.
things though.
Right.
For $5 million, Steve, we could build ourselves a nice building.
Well, we had the $7 million price from NJ, and we just heard from a housing development company that said in the last 5 years, prices have doubled. So we all have to take that information and move forward with it.
We could have bought that church
No.
and spent $1 million
You didn't
on
want to
it.
buy the church.
Okay.
No. Originally, we thought that might be a good idea, but the condition of that church, when we last went and looked at it, you didn't want to buy the
Yeah,
church.
MJ had the purchase of that church was $500,000, and then MJ had an upfit of $4.5 million. So that if that's the $5 million you're talking about, plus the location wasn't right for the town. We had residents. Look at who we have, like 3 or 4 people here now. That whole place was filled with people who were up in arms about Hillcrest.
Okay, the other question is, what are you gonna do with this building?
Yeah, I think you asked this last time.
I know, and
we
I
don't know
don't.
if we're gonna sell it. We don't know if we're gonna renovate it.
All right, see now, when you say
we're in-
renovate it, why don't you renovate it for a town hall?
Because town halls need ADA compliance, they need, court compliance. Those are things that cost astronomical numbers. So
This would most likely, and this is once again coming from engineers, said that the upfit for this building would most likely be as much as Hillcrest, so $4 million. So you're trying to figure out where you want to spend your $4 to $5 million, and for this board, the majority decided that a centralized location on 9W was the best place, where people could understand where it is, where people that aren't from this town could see, hey, there's a town hall. That was thinking on that.
I mean, hopefully, we a second source, get different numbers, ones that we can gravitate towards a little easier. And my opinion would be for the building. I think somebody can make a great business out of this.
Because if we keep it, we've got
Given the tax roll.
we've got to fix everything that's broken.
Sure. Oh, and I agree. And I think that's going to be
Right.
more money than it's worth for a town, for a municipality to do, rather than an individual person that doesn't pay prevailing wage and meet all these requirements. So in my opinion, as of right now, I mean, we'll talk about it, but it'd be to sell
Now,
this place.
Rumor has it that you're gonna keep the police here. That's what you're gonna use this building for.
No.
No.
I'm just telling you, that's what rumor is.
Well, they call them rumors for a reason, I guess.
The whole goal of 9W is to get every single department in one building. And there's been walkthroughs with every department member, and they were shown what their part of the building would be, and they were asked what do they need, what are their wants, and we feel like that building can make a great place for all that to happen. And then, of course, the addition, which MJ gave us a quote for, I think, like $2.1 million. And again, that was like a beautiful addition, and we could always size that down. But that addition was $2.1 million. That addition would solely be for the court, town meetings, and I think on one of the things they had like office space in the back, but I don't know if that's feasible or not. But yeah, so that would be about $2.1 million, depending on their estimates.
Now, the other thing is, $4 million, we're gonna have to float a bond, right?
Typically, you would
Correct.
get a bond. Yeah, we had to get a bond for the plow truck. Yes, you
Yeah.
would probably need a bond for.
So if we buy that building and we put a bond and the bond is turned down, then what? If the people vote against floating that bond, then what?
I don't know. Go back to the drawing board and see what happens. There are 3 outbuildings that I've been talking about with our engineer, who he's right in with our philosophy of not spending money, of using things that are already there instead of building new.
Mhm.
We want to get along the best we can, and we've been discussions. As a matter of fact, I had a discussion with them this morning about going and looking at those outbuildings to see if they'd be suitable. But good question.
I mean, and Barb, to answer your question, some big numbers being thrown around, of course, but you got to compare apples to apples. I mean, when you think about it, we spent $900,000 almost on two-stall bathrooms. So when you think 2.1 million, and that's just that MJ's estimate, $2.1 million for a huge addition that could suffice our needs for a town hall and a court. When you spent $900,000, almost half of that on two bathrooms.
I understand.
Right.
I want this building. I mean,
Sure.
it would be nice to have a nice building, that we could be proud of.
Yeah.
But I'm just worried that we buy this building and then we don't get this bond. And then what? That's my worry. But
Will our
it's
taxes
your
go up?
decision, and then I'll let you guys worry about it.
No, that's understandable. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Barb.
Yeah. Any further questions?
And either with the bond or not, will our taxes go up because of the purchase of this building and the rehab?
I mean, the taxes didn't go up this year, and I don't think that they would go up whether, I guess I hazard to guess whether it's a $2 million bond or if we decide. Yeah, I don't anticipate taxes going up. Taxes going up bring in, what, $31,000 if it was at 2%? Was that the number that we were talking about? Mm-hmm. And we essentially make in interest $20,000 a month in NICLAS investments. So that's only going to generate more and more. So it would probably be foolish to raise people's taxes unnecessarily. So I would say hazard a no, a soft no. Although, we do at some point, have to, like with the sewer rates, we do at some point have to get up to speed with the rest of the country. And we'll see how that goes. But slowly, softly.
We got you on tape.
Are there any further questions? Any more public comment? Hearing none, I make a motion to adjourn. Why don't you hit that up for me? We're doing an executive?
To talk about a potential enforcement matter.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session to talk about a potential enforcement matter, and we will not be returning.
We're making any decisions.
We don't return your life.
Or making any decisions.
All in favor?
I'll second it. Yeah.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.